runways in New York to Milan, she carved her name into the fashion history as the first Caribbean contestant of Jamaican heritage on America's Next Top Model. Camille McDonald is more than a former top model contestant. She's an entrepreneur, humanitarian, and a woman who turned reality fame into a global brand. So happy that she could take time out of her schedule to go on the road to success with us. Hi, Camille. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. It feels good to be on the station with you. I admire you so much.
Same here. Look, thank you so much for, making the time. I mean, I know a lot is going on and you waited before you told your story, and we appreciate that you're giving this story to Irie FM.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
And we will start with the foundation for sure. So let's talk about what it was like growing up with Jamaican heritage and how that influenced, ultimately your style and ambition.
Of course. For those that don't know, I am American. I was born in New York, but I was born to two Jamaican parents. So everyone in my family is from Jamaica except for this current and future generations. Growing up in my household felt as if I was in Jamaica. The discipline was there, the language was there, the food was there. Every summer, at least twice a year as I got older, I visited Jamaica, from Kingston to Montego Bay to Portland to St. Thomas, which is where my mother's side of the family is. And it has provided me a balance between my Black American culture and my Jamaican culture to see the differences and make both of those attributes work to my benefit, because sometimes the cultures can clash when it comes to ethics. So I'm really appreciative to see both sides and to make that who Camille McDonald is.
Now, what did you admire most about your parents growing up?
I admire the fact that my parents are what I call change agents. My father was the first, um, sorry, we're on IG Live right now and we have incoming calls and we want to turn that off. My father started the late Patrick McDonald, may he rest in peace. He started the largest Caribbean media house on the East Coast, which is 93.5 Link Up FM. So you have Link Up and you have Irie Jam here in New York. And he was instrumental in putting together Jam Rock Magazine, the Immigration Link, so forth and so on. Those were really a difficult task to do, because he was more so responsible in getting the dollars for the advertisement in order to have the radio station come afloat. My mom was the first woman of color to head a department at New York Presbyterian Hospital, which is one of the most prestigious and biggest hospitals in New York. And she went on to open a home health agency, a boutique home health agency that caters to New York's top 2%. As a woman of color, that is a very difficult thing to do, but I attribute both of their success to their resilience and knowing how to navigate the space where they were considered the minority instead of the majority. Both of them care for people and want our people here in the States to do well and to get the information and the care that they need.
So, despite your parents, having those professions, what would you say were like early signs that made you say, like, look, I want to embark on a career in modeling. I want to go the fashion route. Do you remember what sparked that interest?
Kashima, can you see me right now?
Yeah, man, I can see you. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can see you.
Okay, because that was an incoming.
Yeah, I think you just flipped your right. All right, so we are on the road to success. We are journeying with none other than Camille McDonald. I am not seeing her at the moment. I'm not hearing her. I know she did say like some calls are coming through. You hear she spoke about her dad, in radio, starting a radio station, and her mom in the healthcare facility. And just to find out from her, what actually sparked her interest at an early age as it relates to modeling and, tapping into the whole fashion element of things. So we are standing by for Camille to rejoin us. I know she said that her daughter was calling. As a mom, I know how that is when you're getting a call from your child or children, that somewhat takes precedence. Not true?
Sweet story, and when you're not, then the war is bitter. You're quick to call me a sinner. Only judge I know my history, so we have to give the king glory, like a tree planted by the river.
Camille, can you hear me?
Can't keep it down, cause we have to overcome.
Sleepless nights under pressure, got a lot on my mind. What would life be without all these struggles of mine? Can't sleep, so I steam trees for peace of mind. I can't sleep, but these sweet dreams do ease my mind. I say, what's success without a little sacrifice? With every downfall, yes, you have to ever rise. Gain the world to lose your soul, no, but not gonna pay that price. I forgive dance a life, the morning sun, there's no
story. When you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter. You're quick to call me a sinner. Only judge I know my history, so we have to give the king glory, like a tree planted by the river. I smile when the sun can't keep it down, but we have to overcome.
Positively clear when I light up on Richard. Tired of selfishness when I go back them for no sponsor. Coming up a red will always try to pull you under. Pagans try to break you, wanna kill you, make you stronger. Play my thoughts with a little meditating. Out of nothing opportunities creating. Kicks in the sea, I don't stop again the praising. For eternity we keep the fire blazing.
When you're winning, it's a sweet story. And when you're not, then the war is bitter.
All right, so we are on the road to success. You know how it is when you're on the road to success. You will have bumps in the roads, you will have potholes, but nonetheless, we keep going, right? We have to keep moving. The journey continues. So, Camille, before you took that important call from your daughter, I was asking, what was that thing that actually sparked an interest for you to tap into modeling and fashion? Do you remember what that was?
What sparked an interest for me in fashion modeling is that I used to go to Manhattan with my mom, and my mom is a darker complexion than I am, and I was very young, but people always thought that she wasn't my mom, she was a babysitter for some reason, and they said, oh my God, your daughter, she's so, your daughter, oh my God, you're, the little girl, she's so pretty, she should be a model, she should be a model, and this was something that was consistent. And they would say, you should tell her mom. You should tell her mom. And she's like, I am her mom. So in the city, you have scouting coaches, directors. And I got scouted in Manhattan and started my modeling career when I was 14, like just turned 14 from 13 years old, and signed with an agency and started working at that age. But my mom always told me, I'll allow you to do this, but just know that your education comes first.
Mm-hmm, which is absolutely important.
She wouldn't allow me to go overseas with these agents until I finished school.
Now, what did winning titles like Miss Teen Florida and placing as Miss Jamaica USA runner-up teach you about confidence and competition in your early life?
Being in the pageant world and competing against so many incredible women, so many beautiful women, it taught me that I need to stay focused and I need to always be authentic to myself. and trust my gut instinct. It was sometimes like overwhelming to be around so many young girls, because you don't know if someone is actually trying to create a true friendship with you or a bond, or if they're trying to figure out how to get a one-up on you so that you can be eliminated and they can win. So you have to navigate personalities. You have to navigate true feelings. Even in the landscape of being in a pageant, the people who work behind the scenes, you have to know who's feeling out who's genuine from who's not, because you can oftentimes get led astray. And it's a very amazing situation to be in, because you do bond and you have a lot of friends that you can keep many years after, but you have to kind of be grounded in the sense that you have to stick with your gut feelings.
I know you said that your mom, she did place emphasis on education, and, you later went on to Howard University. Talk to us about those early college years and what exactly did you study?
HU, Shout out to all my Howard University students and graduates. I learned at Howard University, first of all, I had always been in an environment where I was the only person of color. So I decided to make my higher education be a place, historically Black college university, where I can be in a more diverse environment. That's why going back to Jamaica was so important, because it allowed me to become grounded and connect with, my culture and my people. So going to Howard, there's a huge Caribbean and a huge Jamaican population. I actually became the spokesperson for the Caribbean Student Association, where I felt most comfortable and at home. What was your question again?
No, you answered it pretty much. What I wanted to ask you next, though, is though you had that experience, at Howard University, you ultimately dropped out to be a part of America's Next Top Model. Was that an easy decision, and what did your parents say?
Well, one of the things that I am most proud of during the time that I was at Howard was that I created the first study abroad program where students from the University of the West Indies could visit Howard, and us as students from Howard could spend time at UWI, because I felt that when a lot of the Jamaican students and the Caribbean students came to Howard, they lost credits because apparently the classes that they were taking weren't the same accreditation, and it would take the Caribbean students longer to graduate, when in actuality the courses that they were taking in Jamaica, for example, were way more advanced than the American classes. So I got together a bunch of Caribbean professors to make sure that happened. So I'm really proud of making that work and spent time at the University of the West Indies myself. What was your question, Kashima?
No, I was saying to you if it was an easy decision to leave Howard University to be a part of America's Next Top Model.
It was not an easy decision. I actually spoke with my counselor to see if this is something I should do. I double majored in marketing and advertising, which are in two totally different schools, the School of Business and the School of Communications. My goal was to graduate and be a creative director at an advertising agency and break that glass ceiling of women of color who create commercials and print ads. So my counselor said, Camille, this is a one-time opportunity. School will always be here. So if I were you, I would take advantage of it. But I really didn't want to do that because I only had one more year to graduate. I had a company in college called A New Generation in Fashion, where I had several young ladies create a fashion portfolio. And I would send them out to do fashion shows, hosting. And I told them to audition for Top Model. It was about 8 of them. They auditioned, no one made it on the show. And they said, no, Camille, you need to audition for America's Next Top Model. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go to New York and be a boss. Like, I've been modeling since I was 13. I'm like, I'm all right. They were like, no, we're going to fill your voicemail and you're not going to be able to get any of your business calls. So I was going to Miami, where I was bringing clothes for Sean Paul at the time. I was styling, and they had an audition for America's Next Top Model. And there was thousands of girls out there, but they weren't seeing anybody else. And I said, you know what? I've never been afraid of a challenge, and if I'm not going to just do it for myself, I'm going to do it for those that didn't make it. So I auditioned and ended up getting on the show. But if you ask me if I wanted to be on the show, I had no desire at all to be on America's Next Top Model.
But take us back to that moment, though, after your audition and knowing that, okay, you have been accepted. What was that feeling like? And did you feel like this was the beginning or of your life? Like, did it feel like a career or a life changing experience or moment?
It felt like a wonderful opportunity to represent and showcase my talent as a professional model. I didn't think I was going into like a reality show situation. I thought it was going to be really more targeted towards fashion, getting that agent and being able to get them $1 million contracts around the world. So the same love I have for advertising, now I'm what's being advertised. So I was really excited. My girlfriends around me were really excited for me. They were rooting for me. And so I just knew that I had a social and moral responsibility to young women of color to not fall into the stereotype of other young ladies who have been in reality TV. At that time, it was like real world. Oftentimes, women of color tend to be over sexualized. They tend to come off very aggressive. And I didn't want that because I knew that I had the younger generation looking at me, and it's my responsibility to be a role model. Sometimes, celebrities feel like they're not role models, but you're in the public eye. So technically, yes, we're all human. We make mistakes, but you are setting an example. Don't do as I say, but do as I do.
Tell us though, Camille, what was it like working with Tyra Banks on America's Next Top Model?
Working with Tyra was interesting because when the cameras were on, she was on. There was very little interaction between Tyra and us as contestants unless she came in, cameras are still rolling, to ask you a question. So there was never a time where the cameras weren't rolling that you didn't see Tyra. So to gauge her personality, to gauge her authenticity, it was interesting. I felt like, she was being herself, although the cameras are on, but sometimes people change personalities when they know that they're being watched. But she always seemed very upbeat and, very polite and always very inquisitive. This is her baby. The show's her baby. This is her job. So she's making sure that things are flowing the way she wants them to.
Now, you're known for your signature walk moment on the show. Do you still see that as a defining moment in your career?
Yes. When I was on America's Next Top Model and I said my signature walk was going to make me famous, I was at a casting in Milan for a clothing company. So they have the girls walk for them. So I walked to the best of my ability under the instructions of what that particular designer wants to see from you to advertise and display their clothing. And they asked a question. The question was, why do you walk like that? And that I must explain. So the explanation to that was, this is my signature walk, and that's what's going to make me famous. So I had a super strong air of confidence. The show took it more so as me being arrogant than actually being confident. Yes, I could have responded in a different way, but here's the thing. The industry either likes that really sweet girl or that diva, bitch, and anything in between kind of gets lost. We have to remember, these casting agents see at least 100, 120 girls per day. So you have to be memorable. So even though they may have been a little bit off-putted, guess what? They remembered me, they called me back, and I booked the runway show. That signature walk was actually something that was created at Howard University during Howard University's homecoming fashion show, where there's millions of women that want to audition for the show. A lot of people don't know that in the audience at Howard University, you have A-listers like Debbie Allen, Felicia Rashad, Puffy, NFL players, NBA players. Like, it is a celebrity star-studded audience. So if you have an opportunity to walk the runway at a Howard University homecoming show, there's so much opportunities for you to go on to do many things in television and film and real world fashion. And when I stood back there as a incoming classmen. I don't have any clout. Mostly the seniors are the ones that get the parts because they know their friends and so forth and so on. It's politics like anything else. I said to myself, what is going to differentiate me between all these other beautiful women at Howard and myself to get booked for the Howard University Homecoming Fashion Show? And I said, you know what? I have something signature about me. And my signature is my walk. So I said a prayer. Every time I step foot on the runway, I say a prayer. And then I stepped my foot on the runway at Howard and I did my signature walk. And I ended up booking the Howard University Homecoming Fashion Show, which was not an easy thing to do. Howard University is the only university that has other students from other colleges audition for our university's fashion show. So when the agent in Europe asked me, why do you walk like that? In my head, I'm going back to Howard, where my confidence was built and solidified to say, this is my signature walk, and that's what's going to make me famous. And it worked to my benefit. Ira didn't like that though. She didn't like that, Kashima. But guess what? After I got hounded for saying that, being negative, 2 seasons later or season later, she says, hey girls, I need to see your signature walk. It's about having a signature walk. So it became something positive a few seasons later. But when I was on the show, it was like,
No, also on the show, though, as you mentioned it, there were moments, where you clashed with other contestants. Do you believe the editing actually exaggerated your attitude for drama?
100%. The editing accented, my attitude for drama. 100%, because each girl has a character unbeknownst to them. So my character, I guess, was supposed to be like the diva, bitch. They could have just told me that they wanted me to be that character, and I would have given them a little bit more. But it was almost forced on you. And if you wouldn't behave in a certain way, like I told you about the stereotypical women of color in reality TV, they made the editing so that you came across as such. So you and I could be laughing about last night, somebody dancing crazy, or someone could literally walk in the room and trip, and they have us laughing or me laughing at the person that tripped. But I never really was laughing at the person that tripped. So that makes me look mean, or not nice. So when I watched America's Next Top Model, I was like, oh my God, I said that, but I didn't say that then. I did that, but I didn't say that then. But it all made for really great television, which is interesting because it was me, but it wasn't me. And that's the same thing that the Jays were saying in their recent interviews after the Inside America's Next Top Model, that they also were edited to come across a certain way. It worked in terms of ratings, but I had to deal with the aftermath when people thought that I was like either, super mean. I'm a really nice person in real life.
But when you having, because you had a first experience and then you would have indicated before that you went back a second time, what was your game plan when you went back a second time, especially since going in a second time would have given you insights as to what the show is about? What was that like for you?
When I went back to All Stars the second time, we had a discussion about really showing Camille for who Camille is. Like, I love to cook, and I cook for the girls on the show quite often, but they never showed that on cycle 2, because that would be a nice thing that I was doing. So in this cycle, they kind of promised that they were going to show our true personalities, because I'm like, I could write a cookbook, I can leverage a situation, and all those things were promised and never came to fruition. But I did negotiate that whether I was the first person or second person to get kicked off with my lawyer, that they were going to continue to pay me for the duration of All Stars, where I'm now coming to understand that a lot of the young ladies never got compensated for any of their time on Top Model. But
you said you never got compensated?
Cycles, well, I don't know about the rest of the cycles, but I know that the women on America's Next Top Model at the time, I think it was like per diem or like 35 cents a day, where Tyra was making something like 30 million a day. like the disparity was like crazy. But it's like, oh, it's an opportunity, you know, you're on the show, so we're all grateful to make the opportunity to make what we want to make out of it. But I'm hearing now that the judges were definitely compensated and not the girls, which is what's it's like the drama right now, because you signed your contract, you know, it is what it is, but you were supposed to be able to leverage the opportunity. And some of us, because of our contractual agreements, were not allowed to do that. So there's a lot of things that contestants didn't sign up for that we experienced after the fact. But it all depends on your personality. And I'm so grateful that I was able to push through and be successful, not only in my career as a professional model, but in business as well.
On that note, Camille, hold that thought. We're going to go to Cash Pots. Don't go anywhere. We will return. But of course, the hour 12 to 1 p.m. Was brought to you by Red Stripe. Win over 12 million in cash and prizes in the Beer Winnings promotion. Drink and live responsibly. Stick and stay.
Oxymaster, make everything cleaner.
The time by Oxymaster, the Stain Blaster, is...
It is now 12:59. We are standing by, so listen up. Your top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot. Lunchtime draws up next.
Reggae Radio, Irie
Irie FM, breadfruit in the land of bread.
No man.
Morning, noon, and night. Irish is
Welcome to the official live drawing of the Supreme Ventures Lottery Games. This could be your lucky day. Get your tickets out and let the games begin.
Good afternoon and happy Thursday. It's February 19, 2026. I am Sudani and welcome to the Supreme Ventures Lunchtime Game Draw. Now before we begin, here's a quick look at the mid-morning winning numbers. Do remember, all live draws are being supervised by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission and observed by the independent auditing firm PwC. And now, let's put some money in your top drawer. This afternoon's jackpot is back at $200,000. So congrats to the mid-morning winner. And here are your winning top draw numbers. 12 is our first top draw number. Here comes ball number 8. And the third top draw number to make its way down is a lucky number 17. What's coming next? It's ball number 4. And for a shot at that $200,000, you're gonna need ball 14. So now let's pick your play with our dollars game. I hope you're feeling lucky. So let's play. Long 31 is our first dollars number. Here comes ball 17. Now following 17 is a solid number 20. Now coming slowly but surely, that's a double 22. Here comes another double, that's 33. Now following 33, it's ball 13. I wonder what's coming next. That's ball 23. Now I hope those spots are looking good because lucky number 2 is next. Solid number 30 follows. 28 is next. I wonder what's coming down next. It's ball 15. Now we wrap things up in our dollars game with lucky number 6. So now for some easy winnings with our pick 2 game. So get your tickets out and good luck. 15 is our first pick 2 number, or our second number. It's 33. So once again, the winning pick 2 numbers are 15 and 33. Now up next, you can play it not 1, not 2, but 3 ways. Here comes pick 3. 5 is our first pick 3 number, or second pick 3 number. Here it comes. It's a lucky number 1. Now third and final pick 3 number. Here it comes. It's 3. So once again, the winning pick 3 numbers are 5, 1, and lucky number 3. It's now time to turn up your winnings, so get ready for pick 4. 8 is our first pick 4 number. Our second pick 4 number to make his way up. It's a lucky number 4. Here comes our third pick 4 number. What's it gonna be? It's 0. Our fourth and final pick 4 number. There you have it. It's ball number 5. So once again, the winning pick 4 numbers are 8, 4, 0, and lucky number 5. Now this one, it absolutely easy for win. So let's heat things up with hot pick. And the lunchtime winning hot pick number is a lucky number 4. So congratulations to all my hot pick winners again. The winning hot pick number is 4. Now to all my cash pot lovers, we know you live the debate, but can you win it? Get ready to be a big cash pot winner, and let's see what the lunchtime winning cash pot number will be. And the lunchtime winning cash pot number is... it's 20, and the lucky mark is sick person. So now let's make your winnings, and good luck. Around and around they go. And a white ball has been selected. It is now time for the big one. Yes, you guessed it. The monster winnings. So good luck once more. And a white ball has been selected. So now let's take a look at this afternoon's winning numbers, and of course, congrats to everyone who won. And please don't forget to join us again at 3 p.m. for more games you love to play. I'm Sydney. Have a supreme afternoon.
Hope you were a big winner. Play your favorite Supreme Ventures games every day and tune in for our live draw 6 times a day at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:25 p.m. on this station. Supreme Ventures, making winners every day.
That was the lunchtime top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 3 p.m. for another chance to win in hot pick and cash pot special pot draws. If you're just joining us, we are on the road to success and we're journeying with none other than CAMILLE McDonald, former America's Next Top Model contestant. Now, before the cash pot break, CAMILLE, you were talking to us about, some of the negatives and positives about being a part of that specific competition. But what I want to ask you though, there is a new Netflix docuseries reality check inside America's Next Top Model. What do you feel about that docuseries, and are you open to going on there to tell your tale?
Well, Fatima, I have to put on the trench coat like Tyra, because we're in the trenches right now. The docu-series, I believe I was approached by the True Hollywood docu-series, because at first they don't let you know exactly what it is, but I had kind of declined, I didn't do that. The Netflix one, they didn't reach out, but they have me on the programming. I'm not speaking, but they have the imaging, and as you know, as a Caribbean person, that oftentimes our facial expressions say it all. So I did see myself on the programming, and there is an opportunity for those that want to speak out to speak out. I don't know when they filmed that, if they filmed everyone separate and put the show together, or if it's a docu-series that's navigated, or controlled by the narrative by Tyra. But I do feel like the contestants that did have an opportunity to speak on the show were speaking their truth. But I do know that some things that they said were edited. And everyone has their own story. You can see a lot of pain and a lot of hurt from things that happen on the show, and they make somewhat mention to things that happen behind the scenes and off the show. The whole thing is that giving Tyra her props for being an inspiration, a role model, giving us this opportunity, but was a prize really the prize? And how many of us actually received that or intentionally did not receive that? Like, what did we actually sign up for? So the docuseries hurt my heart in some ways because I see the pain on not just the contestants' faces, but their hearts. But then again, those who push through, and they're just grateful.
How do you feel though, Camille, about even your own America's Next Top Model experience in light of what's being revealed now through the docuseries?
My experience was amazing on the show, meaning that like I had a great time, but I knew that on that show I was being pushed to my wit's end. It was a goal for the network almost to break me so that Tyra could build me back up. I knew that I could win the show, but it was contingent upon what I was willing to do and what I was not willing to do. And because I'm a woman of ethics and high standards, and I really respect myself, there were certain things that I just was not willing to do for the fame and fortune. And I always had in the back of my head that I have a social moral responsibility to young women of color to behave and act a certain way. And it was hard when I was being pushed and then pushing back. That wasn't taken very well. And they take it out on you in terms of the photos that they display to say this is your best photo or your worst photo. So if you're not following suit, you might see a bad picture of you up there, which means that you don't move forward in the competition.
Who is they though, Camille? I mean, is that in reference to the producers, the judges, to Tyra? Who is that they that you refer to?
They is the executive producers. There's a gentleman named Ken Mock. Tyra is also a producer. You have production that takes directions, and then there's people in the boardrooms that make executive decisions. And this is all unbeknownst to you. You have no idea like what's going on. But I did feel the push and, the air of intimidation. But that's one thing that, personally, like, you have to stand up for what you believe in, equal rights, equal justice, and it is what it is. So I didn't fold, although it cost me not winning, but that's fine because I felt like I won in real life. And I'm happy that I made the decisions that I made at the time that I was eliminated.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that, but I wanted to ask you this as well. Tyra Banks has openly reflected on the show's highs and lows and even teased that America's Next Top Model Cycle 25 might be coming. Now, if the show returns, what would you want to see change as a former contestant and knowing, the negatives and positives and so on?
I don't know what to expect from Cycle 25. I don't know what they'll do or what they won't do. There's been so many different types of top models. There's been the male one. There's been the one for shorter women. There's been the one for plus size women. Like, I don't know what else Tyra has in store. Apparently, it's like going to be magnificent. I just, and hopefully they'll learn their lesson, because it seems as if Tyra is apologetic and is struggling with herself to take true accountability. Maybe this is her time to right her wrongs, or maybe this is just another way that maybe some women will continuously get exploited. I really don't know. I just hope that all these girls who are on the show who are now telling their stories will prevent someone from feeling the way that they felt, or be able to make decisions that ultimately benefit them in the future. I mean, entertainment is entertainment. We all signed up for this. We all, signed our contract. Technically, we knew what we were getting into, but there is a beautiful side to entertainment and there's a dark side to entertainment. So as long as you have the strength to push through that, like, you should be okay if you feel that the opportunity is one that will help propel you in life. But I don't know what the Top Model 25 is going to look like. She might call us back as former contestants to be judges. She might call me back to like teach, a runway walk or something like that. Shout out to Miss J, who I'm so blessed to know to give me positive criticism on, my walk. If you watch the documentary, he had a stroke. Tyra hasn't called him. Tyra hasn't visited him, which is horrible because he's taught all the major supermodels in real life how to walk. So if someone could have that sort of temperament, it should be a signal that be very cautious on what you're getting into.
No,
maybe she's changed. Maybe she's changed, and this is going to be a great experience for whoever's on cycle 25, and maybe it'll be a great experience for us as past contestants to coach and train the new girls, or maybe it won't even be girls. It might be animals. We have no idea.
No, so here it is. No, after being eliminated from America's Next Top Model, you put a pause on Howard University. Take us back to that moment. What was that like, for Camille McDonald, picking up the pieces and, coming face to face with that elimination? How did you take that as an L, and what was that like for you in, picking up the pieces to move on?
The elimination I didn't take as an L because I knew that I was going to get eliminated based upon the decisions that I made from things that happened off camera. So I was good with myself. I was disappointed, but such is life. That's a dog-eat-dog world of the modeling industry. It was after I got eliminated when I tried to enter the professional modeling industry, which I had worked in before. I had already been signed to an agency prior to going on America's Next Top Model, which is supposed to be something that was not allowed. And I came upon some pitfalls. Those pitfalls weren't the typical pitfalls of another America's Next Top Model contestant, where at that time, the agencies did not want to sign the girls because they had the reality TV show stigma on them. So say on the reality TV show, if you were known as a crybaby, if you're doing a runway show for a designer, instead of the audience seeing the clothes on you as a model, they're going to be thinking about you being a crybaby. So it didn't work well. Now, in this time, model agencies would love for the models to have any social media presence, be on any reality show, because it's about the numbers. So it makes their brand more relevant because it'll be more visible. So they really don't care too much about what you do in your personal life as long as you can draw people to purchase the product. And it's unfortunate that some of the girls who came off America's Next Top Model, the agencies did not want to sign them because they viewed them as not real models, but girls from reality TV, which that's the dream crushed right there. Yep. How are you going to sell toothpaste or do a, shampoo commercial if when you were on a reality show or Top Model and you were known to have a meltdown because there was some sort of abuse in your family? You don't want to say, oh, this is a commercial for toothpaste, but isn't that the girl that had a meltdown because this happened to her? So, and that's one of the things that on the documentary they explained is that Tyra knew that these girls weren't going to be able to get through the door based upon the edits. So that was kind of unfortunate. My story is a little different than that. I got 5 of the top modeling agencies to want to sign me and work with them, but that was quickly shut down.
Why? What happened?
That's I don't know. I'll let the viewers put, two and two together, but it didn't stop me from working, and it didn't stop me from signing. I just had to do it somewhere else. I had to not.
So in other words, what I'm getting from you is that industry politics basically put you in a position where you had to stop those things, or what? What happened? Talk to me, Camille. It's your road to success. You are telling your story. This is your truth.
I got shut down when it came to signing with 5 of the top model agencies in New York. And I got shut down to doing some major campaigns, which I was bringing to the agencies, which wasn't usual for a new model, if you will. Like, you go to the agency, they're going to develop you, then you get work. Like, I was coming to them with work that people had already saw me on the show that wanted me to do shoots and runway shows and so forth and so on. So I was sure that I was going to sign, even though I didn't win America's Next Top Model, and still become a top model in real life. When that got shut down, that's when my Jamaican side of me just kicked in. I was like, I'm not gonna let somebody tell me what to do, for what not to do. Even though my contract, if I did not do what I was supposed to do, was over $5 million. So right there, the average person is gonna get, scared and not want to do that. And I had to just, we look up what we tell her. I had to, like I said, we're in the trenches right now. I had to just use my mind and say, I need to know if I have what it takes to be a top model or a professional model at this point in my life. I'm not going to just waste my time and do a reality show and not have that transition into something great. So I ended up in the future signing with Major Model Management that was located in Milan. And I worked, and I got everything that the prize of America's Next Top Model would have allotted me. But when I signed, those people knew nothing about, my time on a reality TV show.
So it works out in the end. I think what I really admire most about your story is how you turned your brand, your signature walk, into a charity initiative where you are giving back to Jamaica. Let's talk about that charity work under Signature Walk.
100%. So when I say that my signature walk is going to make me famous, signature walk is just not that in its physical sense. It's like in its figurative sense. We all have something signature about us. What is your signature? We can all be signature in the endeavors that we are trying to undertake. So part of Signature Walk LLC is that we have a mentorship program. We have to do a lot of philanthropy. So as we know, Jamaica was devastated by Melissa Category 5 hurricane, and I am using my celebrity from America's Next Top Model, because that's where most people know me from, and also, magazines and so forth and so on, and my mentorship program and my philanthropy work to give back. So I have given through Signature Walk LLC and my family company, Cambridge Home Care, medical supplies, specific care packages for children, mothers, and women. And this last trip to Jamaica, my barrel still didn't clear, so I had to just give what I could.
Oh, no.
So we went and gave to a church. But my passion is really the kids. Like, I think a lot of the children are dealing with post-traumatic syndrome right now, where they're realizing that things are not normalized or not going to be the same, and they need supplies and they need basic essentials. So I have over 150 care packages for children, women, from baby formula, changing sheets, diapers, first aid kits, electrolyte, powders for water, and toys. Like, I don't know how many toys we packed into this container, because initially we wanted to get for Christmas, but the container in the barrels didn't clear. So I have to make another trip to Jamaica with Signature Walk Inc. to continue to give to like Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. But this particular trip, I decided to just give to the community that my dad grew up in, which is Long Bay, Portland. Although they weren't as affected and devastated as those other areas I mentioned, they still had some damage. And for what I could only fit that small amount in my suitcases, it was best for me to give to them, because when I go into those other areas, we really need to go with a massive amount of product.
Now, what are you most proud of, Camille, outside of your professional accomplishments?
I am most proud of being a super mom. I have an 11-year-old daughter named Kennedy, and she is like such a joy. Like, my daughter is always smiling. She's always laughing. She's so positive. She's filming her own show where she does unboxing of melanated toys, and it's called Lights, Camera, Kennedy. So that is something that I'm very proud of her to do. Representation matters. On her programming, she has a celebrity guest, and she has a VIP guest, which is another friend that comes and plays with her. So it's been really interesting seeing my daughter behind the camera with her idea. You know, she was buying toys online. That's what kids kind of do nowadays. And she wanted a toy that looked like her. She wanted a toy with hair texture like hers, and she just couldn't find it. And so, you know what, Mom, I'm just going to solve the problem and do my own show where people can find, diverse toys. And the show is for everyone. So that makes me really proud to know that I have a child that's so thoughtful. The idea of giving toys to Jamaica to the kids was hers. She said she didn't want anything for Christmas. She wanted to give everything on her list to the kids in Jamaica. So I have a very selfless daughter. I'm very proud of her and her accomplishments in education and sports. She's cool. Lights, Camera, Kennedy on Instagram.
All right. Now, what if she has aspirations to go into modeling and become a fashion model? Is that something that you would encourage based on even your personal experiences?
Oh my God, I was about to take off the coat because I thought we were out of the trenches. Would you put me back in the trenches? Keep the coat on now. Oh my God. Listen, as a mother, I put all the opportunities that I can afford in front of my child. If she wants to snowboard, if she wants to code, if she wants to sing, if she wants to do chess, like, I just let her do what it is that she wants to do. And if she gravitates towards that, then I will support her in that. If she wants to go into modeling, fine. But here's the thing, Kashima, she's never seen America's Next Top Model Cycle 2 or All Stars. And some of her friends have seen it. And I'm a little conflicted. I don't know if I should allow her to see the show. And even with this new documentary, she wants to see it because the editing, the perspective, and this new generation, how they view things or internalize it. Like, what will she think about my character? Think about how you were portrayed. She's going to, be on the side of the contestants because she doesn't understand the behind the scenes dynamics. Or is she going to be like, mommy, I understand you were right. And she's also more American than I am to understand, the dynamic, with the culture.
Maybe you need to have that open conversation with her and also get her to understand that what happened on America's Next Top Model after the edits, that does not define who Camille McDonald is. But in truth, she's going to see it because it's all over Netflix. It's across every media and television station, locally and internationally. We're having a conversation now as it relates to, your time on the show based on what is coming out from the docuseries. So it's a conversation that you can't hide from, but it is important that she understands it doesn't define who you are.
Listen, I'm going to call you. I want you to see the Auntie Katima. She has something to tell you, okay? And I'll let you explain it just like that.
I know you took off your coat because you're out of the trenches, but given what you detailed to us, just the negative, the positive, the advantages, the disadvantages, as it relates to being a part of America's Next Top Model. If you could see Tyra Banks today face to face, what would you say to her?
Really good question. See, this is why you are the journalist that you are.
Hey.
Wow, that's heavy. So there was an article that was written, and if I had to explain myself why I am the way I am, because I felt like she really wanted me to change, or maybe that was for me to change so that she could build me up. So I didn't realize at that time. But in the article I said, I would say to Tyra, Tyra, I know why my grandmother put the coconut milk in the rice and peas. And it's either you understand that or you don't understand that. So as much as I try to explain myself to someone that might not have the context to realize my temperament, or why my swag is the way it is, why my confidence is the way it is, why I might come off a little bit more self-assured, and not look at it as a negative, but look at it as a strength instead of a weakness. I'm not saying that we all can't learn from our behavior. I'm certainly not perfect. But I would say to Tyra, again, I want to just solidify that Tyra is an inspirational role model. Tyra has been through so much in the industry. Tyra was a victim of so many things. And I really feel like she had the intention to start off with America's Next Top Model, to change the fashion industry and to give women an opportunity to be on the same world stage as she was, but with less than what she had to endure. But somewhere along the lines, that changed. And I don't know if it's changed because of money, or she started looking at the show as her baby and not us as humans, that our particular life experiences needed to be protected and not exploited. Some people broke from their personal life experiences and their traumas being exploited. We didn't sign up for our trauma to be exploited. I never wore a trauma on my sleeve to be exploited. My whole thing with her is that you never break. Why you don't cry? You're just not humble. But now you know why I behave the way I behave, because of the weight that's on my shoulder to represent, So I would just say to Tyra that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what happened to you in your life and what you had to go through, or whoever it is that hurt you, because hurt people, Mm-hmm. And you have an opportunity to take accountability. You have an opportunity to be truly apologetic. But then again, people are people. And I know that the show and this brand has generated billions of dollars. But I don't know if without that money, if there's more empathy towards your friends as judges, if there's more empathy towards the girls, because you're supposed to treat people the way you want to be treated, But sometimes people forget that when they're presented with a certain level of success. She said on the documentary that bosses have bosses. So she didn't want to be fired and not have the opportunity to have the #1 show, in the world. And that brings me back to me on America's Next Top Model, where I could have won the show, but I was presented with something and I made the executive decision, because of my grounding and my morals, not to do that. You're met with a decision in life, what you want to do from what you don't want to do, and what those expectations are. But know that in doing so, you're going to lose people. And if that's worth more to you than, the business or the prize at hand, that's one thing. So again, I would say to her that I hope that she finds the healing that she needs, and she could really empathize with how she's changed girls' lives, not just for the positive, because some of us have been extremely successful, hard love, tough love, and some of us, it's to my understanding that some America's Next Top Model contestants have committed suicide. Some have OD on drugs. It's how you deal with celebrity and fame. And when you reach out to someone for help and they don't help you and they leave you helpless and your traumas have been exploited, that will carry with people years and years to come. So, I just want to say, Tyra, one love, like Bob Marley, respect, right? Like, you at the top, we all have what it takes to be a top model, or moreover, we all have what it takes to be signature. Whatever your signature is. There are girls who are successful that did not go into modeling or acting, but they're highly successful. Like, I'm a business owner. I did my rounds in fashion. I'm technically, I should be retired, because I'm a mom, but I do have a fashion spread that's coming out in, can I tell you what magazine?
Of course, yes. Tell me.
Coming out in this magazine right here. It's not this magazine, but this is the brand. It's called Paradise. And they have contacted me, and they want to do this beautiful editorial shoot. We're hoping that they'll give me the cover where you can hear more about what it is that Camille McDonald is doing.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, two final questions before we wrap. One, I wanted to find out from you, what advice would you give to young girls who are listening now and they, have this aspiration to be a supermodel, to do it at the highest level? What advice do you have for those young girls listening?
The advice I have for young girls listening is, not to sound cliche, but besides staying strong, positive, and focused, it's to really know your worth and do not sell yourself short for short-term gratification. I think that this new generation wants things like immediately. And sometimes the race is not for the swift, but those who endure. Sometimes you have to take your time and move at a place where you know what is for you. When one door closes, another one will open. Because if you take that quick, short route, it's going to end quickly and you're going to be damaged and you won't be able to run that extra mile and actually win. So when you're presented with opportunities and things, although it might sound great, take your time to really look into it and say, okay, how can I move forward strategically, and who around me truly is my support system? Because you have people around you like, oh yeah, go do that, that's fine. And then people like, you know what, maybe you need to think about that for a second, because although you want to do it, maybe now is not the time. So for young girls, you really have to know that you are beautiful, that you are valued, and that anything you want to achieve, you can. Just because somebody might be a bigger celebrity does not mean that you cannot accomplish or achieve the same things that they have. Just respect those who came before you and continue on your path.
And finally, what is success for Camille McDonald?
Success for Camille McDonald is really being authentically true to myself. Success for Camille McDonald is knowing that I have had an impact on people and that my legacy will continue to live on through my work and the influence in a positive way that I have on others. It's not really about the material things, what I've acquired from what I haven't, but really being proud of just being comfortable in my space.
Camille, thank you so much. This was amazing. I truly wish you all the best and, continue being your authentic self and continue being you.
Thank you. I do have one question for your viewers and for you also. How much time do I have? 30 seconds?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I am completely
I'm thinking about a brand, and you'll be the first person to have. But Camille McDonald aspires to come out with my line of coconut water, and maybe you'll see it 2027. But here's the coconut water.
Put it into the camera a bit. Yes.
Photo, right?
Okay.
So it's
nice.
called Rasta Goodness Premium Coconut Water.
Rasta Goodness.
Yes. People always ask me, oh, how do you look so young for your age? I don't think your viewers know how old I am. And I really think beauty comes from within. And it's about the special ingredients right here. Coconut water. 100% natural, all organic, no preservatives. So look out for that. It's also on Instagram at Rasta Goodness Foods.
All right. Thank you so much, Camille. Rasta Goodness. We are looking out for it.
Thank you. It's a lifestyle. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for having me, Kashima. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you, too.
Secure in the bed. Financial.
Thank you so much to Camille McDonald, our coconut water, Rasta Goodness. So much to talk about, but stick and stay.